All right, I'm feeling blue today, and by that, I mean we're playing some Duel Commander. This deck looked really funny. This is Lier, Disciple of the Drowned, and Biocodegia, Biecodegea. I don't know that user, but they finished, was it fourth in a 16-player trial? So I decided to take that list and give it a spin. It's basically a high tide deck. It's got 35 islands. It's got 4 blue fetches, a Mystic Sanctuary, and 30 actual islands. I went with Invasion Islands because I had 30 of them. And it's just trying to get up to a bunch of mana with High Tide. Extraplanar Lens makes your lands tap for 2. Sapphire Medallion makes your blue spells cheaper. Cast Lier, recast a bunch of stuff. And yeah, this deck looks like it can do some pretty cool stuff, as well as playing a little bit like Mono Blue Control. But it really does kind of end with a combo finish here. So yeah, let's get into it. This looks like a lot of fun. Just brain freeze some people out in Duel Commander. All right, I would like to play first. We're playing against Yoshimaru and Ludovic. I see. So Jeskai. This hand looks fine. It's got Opt. I'm on the play. They're unfortunately probably going to play Yoshimaru on turn 1. So it's kind of a ton of tough. 1/1 for 1 and gets ++1 counter when a legendary permanent enters, which includes legendary lands. It's pretty wild. And then they're never going to cast Ludovic. They're just going to cast Yoshimaru, but that lets them play Jeskai cards. So I'm going to go turn 1 Opt, hopefully turn 2 lose focus, turn 3 Archmage's Charm maybe, and then I guess I can steal Yoshimaru with that one actually, and then set up Merchant Scroll for High Tide. Exhaustion's kind of funny. Their creatures and lands don't untap next turn, so you get to kind of take an extra turn that way, and then Merchant Scroll plus solve the equation can definitely find some action. Okay, Island, go. And like I said, probably a turn 1 Yoshimaru, but they don't always have it, because they don't always have an untapped white land on turn 1, but their deck is constructed to do that fairly reliably, I would say. Probe. Alright, they get to see lose focus and Archmage's Charm. It's not the end of the world. And I do need to find lands, but I think this hand's pretty good if I do, and Opt should help with that. Lier lets me recast all my blue spells, so I get to basically High Tide, cast an untap effect, cast Lier, do everything again. Alright, here comes a Yoshimaru. And here comes Opt. Okay, well, I'll keep a land on top. Take my turn here. Mystic Sanctuary is actually a slightly awkward land. I guess I only have to draw one other land first, but this deck's literally all islands plus a Mystic Sanctuary. That's funny. That's what the fetch lands also do. Besides providing a shuffle effect, they let you go get Mystic Sanctuary and put another card back on top. Okay, they didn't have a legendary land. That's nice. So now we're going to play something and I'll counter it. I mean, they know I've got lose focus in hand. But they paid the life, so presumably they're good getting this countered anyway. They could attack first, I guess, but if they're playing a legendary permanent, they kind of want to cast their spell first. Okay, Loyal Apprentice. 2 mana, 2/1 haste. If you control the mana, make a Thopter. Well, they know I'm countering that. And let's see. Let's see what I draw. So if I don't draw a land, I guess I'll play Mystic Sanctuary. It's kind of annoying, but I have to. And then Merchant Scroll. Maybe I just go get High Tide at that point? I'm not sure. 2/1 haste and makes a haste 1/1 flyer. Yeah, that's a pretty strong card with Yoshimaru. Winning the die roll. Pretty good for this deck. Just like every deck in Duel Commander. All right. Let's get a little island. Perfect. Pass the turn. And I'm going to cast Archmage's Charm this turn. I can either counter what they play, draw 2 cards, or steal Yoshimaru. It's kind of interesting. All of those are reasonable options, I would say. No blue land yet, only red and white lands. They did have a Gitaxian Probe, though. Inti, Sinistral of the Sun. Huh. So I could counter it. Yeah, countering it sounds pretty good. It stops the clock pretty dramatically. They're going to Pyroblast me here. That's the case, because they played their land first, which you wouldn't always do with Inti. Oh, into Zurgo, sure. That makes sense. All right. And now it's time to start finding some high tides. Let's go island. So I can merchant scroll here or solve the equation. Let's see. Okay, so I want high tide and I want frantic search. Let's just go island. Let's solve the equation and pick up frantic search. And then, because frantic search is going to be one of the better ways to make mana here. I could also get turnabout. Let's see, so next turn I get turnabout, merchant scroll for high tide, and then exhaustion them. Because I'm going to take like some damage here. And then, yeah, and then I can Mystic Sanctuary. The question is basically, is it better to have frantic search or turnabout? Turnabout gives me more mana. Frantic search lets me see cards. But I guess I'm going to have all these tutors anyway. All right, I guess I'll go with turnabout here. Kind of learning this deck on the fly, but it's fun. It's a fun puzzle to put together. Let's pass the turn. And then I can maybe end up Mystic Sanctuarying something. Not sure exactly what I want to get here. Okay. I mean, they can hit me for 4, plus if they play a legend 5, if it's got haste, like maybe 7 or 8. You know, a good amount of damage here, but I'm assuming exhaustion is going to buy me a turn, basically. Stoneforge Mystic, sure. Because now I can go exhaustion plus merchant scroll. First, I'm going to cast merchant scroll for high tide. Then I'm going to go Mystic Sanctuary, put back maybe the charm. Ooh, Embercleave. And Jolted Awake, putting Inti back into play. That's cool. They're doing some things. And see if they Inti here. Because if they don't even play a land here, then we're really safe. Because one thing that could be a little dangerous is like I exhaustion them and then they go land plus Simian Spirit Guide or something like that. Because I go to 10 here. These can attack next turn because they will be untapped. Oh, do I want to? Huh. I think I do want to put back. I could also just put back like a merchant scroll. Let's go get a high tide. Exhaustion's pretty nice. High tide's also pretty nice. All right, high tide. Mystic Sanctuary. I think just a draw 2 is probably fine. I'm just assuming this is probably gonna work here. I don't know if it is or not. Exhaustion you, pass the turn. I remember old standard a long time ago with exhaustion in like Howling Mine decks where it's like you play like Howling Mine and Kami the Crescent Moon, which is another Howling Mine, multiple Howling Mines in play, and then firing off exhaustions and bounce spells. So basically just make it so they don't get to take any additional turns. Yeah, it was pretty cool, pretty sweet stuff. I am assuming that we're not getting countered in any way here. They have Embercleave and 2 unknowns in hand. I guess they could have a Spell Pierce technically. They technically have Force of Will blue card, though they just discarded a Pyrokinesis, so it's going to make it a little bit harder. They played their land first. This person isn't inting all that well. They hit Skrelv, Defector Might. Sure. You can Skrelv it up if you want. Their last cards are Embercleave, Skrelv, and an unknown. Well, Skrelv's not in hand. It's in exile zone, but they're about to play it. All right. Draw, island. Let's do it. High tide. Turnabout. Yeah, this looks like it should be pretty easy. Untap. Lier. Oh, they discarded Pyrokinesis. That's really funny. High tide. Tap this for about 1 million mana. Turnabout. And I still have a counter in hand with this Archmage's Charm if I needed it. Land. Untap. Oh. I'm not even going to bother exhaustioning. Let's go opt. Bottom draw. Oh, Frantic Search. At some point I will want Frantic Search, but let's solve the equation here. I mean, I can already Brain Freeze them very soon here. I guess they have a lot of cards in their deck because it's Duel Commander, but... And here, I think I want... Memory Deluge? No, because I already have... Everything already has Flashback. I think I kind of just want, like, Lorien Revealed. Because I can always Merchant Scroll for High Tide. So let's just do that. Where'd you go? It's alphabetic, I guess. Or I guess actually lock and load would have been better. I'll find that at some point. Lock and load's a funny one. We'll see it in a second. I'd never seen the card before. Oh yeah, this looks super over. Bottom, top, impulse, into brainstorm. I have Dream's Grip to untap one of my lands if I want. Here, let's just draw 2 cards here first. I already know I don't need a counterspell at this point, and I have stuff in my graveyard too. Spellseeker. All right. Yeah, in response, I guess I'll brainstorm because I'm getting a shuffle here. Sink into Stupor and Force Spike. Don't need those anymore. Oh, everything has flashback. This is nice. Hidden Strings, maybe? Sure. I can untap some lands. Boom. Yes, yes. And then no ciphering. Then Hidden Strings, these 2 lands again. Go for lots of manas. And I guess I could cipher it now since it's getting exiled anyway. So Brain Freeze. I guess I could find Remand or something. And then what do they have in their hand? Nothing, right? Yeah, Embercleave and Lelia. Didn't I shuffle away that Force Spike? Yeah, okay. They had enough. There's no way for me to fizzle there. So, all right, let's get in there. Okay. All right, I'll keep this hand on the draw. It's not amazing, but on the draw is going to be kind of tough against the 1-drop anyway. Unsubstantiate can buy time, and then Cryptic is like a time walk against red-white aggro. Tap all their creatures and draw a card, or counter whatever spell they play, tap their squad. And then Deluge is okay. This isn't the best hand, but you really have to make all your land drops. They mulled to 5, but you know, Duel Commander is not the worst format to mull in because you always have your commander to play. So it's like you start with an 8-card hand anyway. So they kind of mulled to 6 instead of, they mulled twice to 6, which is, you know, a little bit less bad. How much blue do they have? I'm kind of curious. Like, I guess they don't have that much, it seems like. If they have that same lieutenant here, that would be kind of a beating, honestly. Like, this could just be bad. Oh, Guide of Souls? Jeez. Oh, well, I was going to say triple 1-drop. I guess that does pump the Yoshimaru, but it's not so bad. All right. Because I think, depending... I drew my 1-drop on turn 2. Depending on how my hand develops, this hand can probably go off 5 or 6, is my guess. Turn 5 or 6. Well, more turn 6. I mean, it doesn't take much. A High Tide plus an untap effect is already quite a bit. Thalia? No, I don't want to unsubstantiate. I don't want to lose focus. Obviously, I'm not beating a Thalia. I mean, I can bounce it or whatever, but Thalia in play is a headache. All right, they hit me down to 15. Now I've got unsubstantiate plus consider as this turn. Get probe. I can wait on that. It's not like I need to hit a land drop. I already have plays to make this turn. If they don't have anything and they equip Shadow Spear onto Yoshimaru, we're really talking then. Okay, they have 4 mana now. Into a Johnny Nakatl Pariah. Okay. No cards in hand. Yeah, that's going to get them to 2 energy. It's not so bad. They can't give anything flying. And then now they're going to equip Shadow Spear. They kind of have to. So, perfect. And I get to bounce that thing. I guess I could have considered before. Well, I think I can bottom that because I'm going to draw or bin it and unsubstantiate Yoshimaru here. Take 1. Now I've got Cryptic or Memory Deluge. I don't mind either one of those. Pass the turn. They have Yoshimaru in hand plus an unknown. If they just cast Yoshimaru, I'm at 14. Countering it doesn't really seem like it does that much because they can just replay it. I think I'm going to do this. I'll let them have it. And then depending on what they put the counters on from Guide of Souls, I can like bounce it and draw a card because they might just put it on the Cat Warrior. It actually makes some sense, but we'll see. I assume they're going to use it. They could also put it on a Johnny or Guide of Souls. A Johnny is the least likely one. All right, they put it on the Cat Warrior, so... bounce draw. Boom. This is kind of nice because now I take another 2 here. I'm just not taking that much damage. Oh, mental misstep. Okay, that's a really good card to have my opening hand against this opponent, I'll tell you that much. All right, I drew the island, so let's go island. It's preordain here. Spellseeker and unwind. Bottom the unwind. I'll top the Spellseeker. Pass the turn, and I'm going to cast Memory Deluge end of turn. I'm going to take 3 or 4 damage here. Should be fine. 4 if they equip the Shadow Spear. I have 1 card in hand. They don't. Oh, they got something. Be nice if it could something I could Spell Pierce. Creatures, non-basics. That doesn't matter too much. It's a legend, so you know pumps Yoshimaru, but I guess they're going to crack Mire to equip Shadow Spear, so I'm going to take 5 this turn down to 7. So I'm dead next turn. I assume between Memory Deluge and Spellseeker I'm in decent shape here, but we'll see. I mean, if I find a bounce spell or High Tide, let's take Frantic Search, and I think Island here. I mean, I guess I could have gotten Mystic Sanctuary. Oh, Wash Away. That's a little late for that one. All right, so land. I can't play any blockers. All right, let's go Spellseeker. Get High Tide. High Tide. Frantic Search. Discard. Island Stern Scolding, I guess. And so now I can play Lier, and then I have 3 mana left. So no, I only have 2 mana left. All right, let's probe. Actually, I might end up losing this. I need to draw 1 more thing. Yeah, maybe I need it. Not sure. Lier, and I have Unsubstantiate now. I'm at 5. No, the bouncing 1 thing isn't going to do it. Maybe let's just probe again. Tap this for 2. I think now I actually am dead. No, I end up being 1 short. I probably could have gotten this one somehow. But on to game 3. Maybe being on the play would be better. So what was I supposed to do different there? I could have used Cryptic to prevent more damage, but I think that would have been worse. Maybe I needed to cast Spellseeker the turn before. Not sure. Oh, well, this hand is really nice. Oh. This hand is sick. I need to draw some card draw. That's the only thing this hand is missing. But, like, I have turn 1 Stern Scolding, turn 2 Sapphire Medallion, and turn 3 Hardcast Subtlety. That sounds pretty great. All right, I'm into that. Because I assume they're always going to play Yoshimaru turn 1. I mean, unless something goes wrong. So Stern Scolding to start things out is really, really nice. It just saves so much damage. And they get to put it back in their command zone. And Sapphire Medallion here. Oh, Sleight of Hand. All right, that's not bad either. Pass the turn. And I think on turn 3, I'm just going to leave up Subtlety, assuming they don't like blow up my Medallion this turn or anything like that. Thalia this turn would be pretty annoying. I guess the Medallion does do some work against Thalia, but still. Sapphire Medallion is a pretty nice one. The first ever constructed PTQ I won involved 4 Sapphire Medallions in my deck. I was playing Blue-White Storm. Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, that's pretty good against Subtlety. That's unfortunate. What are they going to get? Embercleave? Oh, that's just not that scary. Pass the turn. Leave up Subtlety and Unwind. I wonder if I should have kept Unwind, thinking about it more, in the other game. Was there an opportunity to go probe, unwind it? Maybe. Okay, I hope this is a creature. Embercleave does mean you want creatures, so I kind of feel like there's a pretty good chance they're just going to cast a creature this turn. Or if it's a non-creature, boom, I got to unwind. I'll be wasting the mana, unfortunately, but Giga Drow's also can buy me an extra turn here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure last game I could have probably sequenced things differently to end up being able to go off as opposed to not, but legendary creatures get +2/+1 and have ward 1. Non-legendary creatures get +1/+1. I guess that's fine. It doesn't really scare me too much. They played that over playing Yoshimaru, huh? Yeah, I guess I'll take 2. I don't think I want to subtlety that, because it feels like I could do better. Sleight of hand here. Oh yeah, let's take Frantic Search. Island, say go. Honestly, if I can find High Tide, I'll be able to go off pretty fast here. The deck has a lot of tutors for it also. I mean, Sapphire Medallion Frantic Search already generates mana. I'm already getting close to a point where I could do that. Ooh, they're cracking Mire. That's good. Means they need their 4th mana for something, and they're going to play them playing a spell here. Hopefully that costs 4 mana is probably great for me. I guess we'll see what it is. There's obviously some uncounterable things that could be an issue. And if they had like Cauldron Complete and they just snapped it off with Stoneforge, they would have done that last turn, I assume. That would also be bad. All right, they're playing 2/2 drops. I guess that's not as impressive. Two haste, first strike when equipped. Draws it's like a Glimmer Lens, except you have to have both creatures be legends, or at least Mary plus the other creature. Okay, subtlety that. They could put it on top or bottom. On top, all right. And they might be able to kill the subtlety. That wouldn't surprise me. What is this thing? 2 mana, 4/2, ward 1, flying vigilance. Tap, exile it, gain 2 life, and scry 2. When legendary creature control attacks isn't blocks, if this card is... Huh, what a weird card. Okay. I can block it. They need an unblockable legend to bring it back. Oh, and then they have... I see. I'm not loving where I'm at. What I might do here is maybe I could Frantic. Try to get this party started a little bit. Dizzy Spell. Okay, that can get a thing. Let's see. I'm tapping, so let's discard Unwind and Island. Tap 3 lands. Transmute this for High Tide. Island. Ward 1. I think I passed the turn here. I have Giga Drowse up. So they do it. Their legends have Ward 1. I have to watch out for that. But Giga Drowse up could protect me from some amount of things. Okay. So are they going to exile this to gain 2 life and scry 2 now? No, they're just going to go to attacks and try to draw cards. Hold on. So replicate 1. It has Ward 1, so I do have to pay the 1. I'm going to tap down Mary, and I'm going to tap down a command tower. Beginning of combat here. If they want to attack with this 4/2, I'll just block. That part's fine. Okay. And then I do kind of want to draw something here, because if I don't end up... I'm going to go High Tide, Lear. I have Unwind in the graveyard, so Lear's got protection. And Frantic Search, Sleight of Hand, all that stuff. But I have Frantic Search, Sleight of Hand. I have 2 ways to draw cards. Yeah, I'll block. Because if this dies, it doesn't really work. Oh, they're going to Embercleave me. Sure, yeah. So I take some damage here. I actually don't mind that, because now they're tapped out. Okay, and it's 10, so I take 7 here. Fair enough. Okay. If I draw some action here, we are talking. Peak isn't actually the worst. All right, High Tide. Lear. High Tide. Just want to get all your high tides out first. This is now 4 mana. So, hold on. I think I can go peek to make sure they don't have instant speed stuff. Let's see, what are their 2 cards? Scrove and Minas Tirith. All right, nothing. Oh, and I drew stock up? Okay, well, kind of feel like we're doing great now. Frantic Search. Discard these 2. Untap 3 lands. So I have a lot of mana. I need to find another untapper, I guess, but I think I have Snap, so that already does some untapping. I think stock up. Oh, I think Intuition, Lorien Revealed have to be pretty good. Because now I can go Snap on Stoneforge, because that's the only one without without ward. Tap 2 lands. And tap this Intuition. I'll choose an opponent. And Intuition with Lear in play means I just get everything. So I'm going to get Turnabout. What else do I want? Hidden Strings is probably fine. And then I have tons of cards already. I could just get the Brain Freeze. Yeah, that's probably fine. I think I could probably get an untap effect at some point in there too. I might also unwind one of my own spells at some point here. I think that'll be pretty good. They can give me whatever they want. We've got action. All right, they figured it out. All right, yeah, this deck is a blast. All right, time for round 2. See, I won that match 3-0 because I think I could have won game 2, but we still got the dub. This hand's obviously great. I mean, that's why Duel Commander is really powerful, right? Like, just like my opponent's aggro deck always has a 1-drop, I always have the big combo engine at the ready. So I'm going to start with Probe, because this deck doesn't care about storm count too much, and I would like to know what I'm playing against. That could change what I ponder with an Adeline deck. All right, Adeline, Fear of Surveillance, Glimmerlight. Okay, they got some things here. Let's just go ahead and ponder. Can't wait to see what my ponder is. I have to move these cards. All right, Snap, Giga Drowse, Land. I don't really think I want this. I'm just going to shuffle. Oh, Solve the Equation is much better. Because I already have the High Tide and a Dream's Grip, so I just need to find a medium card draw spell, which Solve the Equation counts. You tutor for something, and then later Lear gets back Solve the Equation. It looks like we're playing maybe a budget version of a deck, too. So it's all good. People should enjoy Duel Commander, regardless of what their budget is. But yes, this looks a little bit more low budget than some of the decks we face. All right, land to go. I drew Sink into Stupor. And I'm just going to play land to go. I think I might play Sink into Stupor as a spell. And you just don't want to play a non-island. It's the only non-island in the deck, I think. Unless there's like another flip card, let me say. There's Sink into Stupor. I think that's the only one. So yeah, every other land is an island. So playing a non-island in your high tide deck is rough. And here comes Fear of Surveillance. Who doesn't have a Fear of Surveillance? I actually don't have much of a Fear of Surveillance, to be honest. Oh, stock up. I guess I could cast this one first. We're just going to try to goldfish here because our opponent's going to try to kill us, but it doesn't look like they have a lot of disruption. And let's pick up, well, definitely Frantic Search. And Preordain or Brainstorm. Let's just go Preordain's a little easier. Ship the turn, and turn, I could potentially go off on turn 4. High Tide, 6 mana, Dream's Grip, 7 mana. Frantic, or no, not Dream's Grip. I'll go High Tide, 6 mana, Frantic Search, 9 mana. Because you go down to 3, then up to 6, then you can go Lear, High Tide. Yeah, looks like I'll be able to just turn 4 here. It's pretty nice. I don't need to see their hand. Okay. It's not so much that I need to go off this turn or I win the game. My opponent, I don't think, is going to do too much next turn either. I don't think I want to... Well, actually... Yeah, let's go High Tide. And I can go get Mystic Sanctuary and put it on top. I think that's going to be pretty nice. Okay, because then I can crack this, because I'm going to get High Tide into it, or Frantic Search rather into it. Mystic Sanctuary. Target High Tide. Oh, hold on. I actually don't need to tap all these lands. All right, Frantic Search. Discard 2 islands. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is nice. Cast Lier. Cast High Tide. Tap for 1,000,000 mana. Frantic Search. Discard 2 islands, and now I have about 1,000 mana. Each of the islands are tapping for 4 mana. Yeah. Ponder. I don't think. I'll just shuffle. Oh, Memory Deluge. Let's see. Let's go Gitaxian Probe. Let's see what they got. Oh, it didn't show me. I don't know why. Maybe I clicked on myself. It doesn't matter. And I guess I can go Dream's Grip. Untap target permanent on island. And then I can flash it back as well. Yeah. No, come on. Okay. Untap target permanent. And I assume this is just enough mana to easily go off. In fact, I'm sure it is. I have to get to... You don't actually have to get to the full amount to Brain Freeze them, because you can find Remand, and that acts as a second copy of Brain Freeze. Substantiate and wash away. Tap this, stock up. And I can go get Turnabout with Solve the Equation as well. I'll get, Lock and Load and Extraplanar Lens. All right, so Lens, I can imprint. Why is this faded out? Who knows? Imprint Island. Now my island's tapped for even more mana. 13 mana, so let's solve the equation. Pick up Turnabout. Turnabout myself. Land on tap. Tap these for 20 mana now. Solve the equation. Get Brain Freeze. And then cast Lock and Load. How much mana do I have? 17 mana left. Sure. I'll Lock and Load. I haven't cast this card before. And I draw about 1,000,000 cards. Candelabra. Candlestick, these 3 lands. Part of the reason I play this deck is I love Candelabra. Getting to put a Candelabra in a deck is really fun for me. So, I mean, I can get to Brain Freezing them without Remand here, but if I find Remand, it could be nice. Suspend is a funny card. Exile a creature and put 2 time counters on it. Ooh, I bet long-term plans will do the trick. Where's my Remand? Remand is on top of my deck. It's the 3rd card down. Sleight of hand, counterspell, preordain, top, bottom, and then go Brain Freeze you. And 53 cards left. I just want to make sure I didn't deck myself with Lock and Load, which I think seems like it is a possible thing to do, but where did Brain Freeze go? Oh, it can't be countered. All right. I forgot about that. Lier out, the remand trick doesn't work. I can unsubstantiate it. All right. I guess I already had that. So, and I'm going to assume I have Stifle. So if they had like an Eldrazi, my opponent doesn't have an Eldrazi. I think we all know that. If they had an Eldrazi, I could stop it. Unsubstantiate the original. There we go. And then Brain Freeze you for about 1,000,000 more. And now I've Brain Freezed for 23, like I don't know, something like 150 cards or something like that. It's a lot. I don't think I've ever had this many brain freezes on the stack. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm supposed to F6 in case of Eldrazi, but you know what? They don't have an Eldrazi. Just gonna let them do this. If I see a trigger happen, I'll try to stop it. I feel bad for my opponent. They joined the Duel Commander to battle their Adeline deck against Yoshimaru decks or whatever, and now we've got this. I don't think I have a way to force them to draw a card, do I? All right. Pass the turn. Discard a million cards. Keeping Force of Will in hand. All right. Took a little bit, but we got there. You love to see it. All right. Ooh, this hand is great. Turn 1 Ponder, turn 2 Sapphire Medallion, and then I have Stock Up, Snap, and Spellseeker. Spellseeker for High Tide, then Snap the Spellseeker. This deck's awesome. I do think it can suffer a little on the draw against some aggro decks, and so far I haven't really played against a counterspell, but this deck's a lot of fun. Let's just put it that way. I'm not saying that beating, kind of like the oops, almost missed my land drop on turn 1. Beating the all commons deck is like a big test of how good this deck is, and certainly not saying anything bad about their deck. Everyone should get to play, Magic, like I said. But if you were testing for a tournament, then you wouldn't put a lot of stock in it. But I look at this hand and I'm like, this hand looks like a turn 3 win if I want it to be, or at least it could have the chance of doing so, and certainly by turn 4. Okay, Island and Ponder away here. Actually don't mind that, I think, because just hitting another land drop is fine, and Mental Note can mill the Pact of Negation if I want it to. So what I might actually do here is go turn 2 Sapphire Medallion, turn 3 on Upkeep, Mental Note, mill Pact of Negation, and then cast Stock Up. I guess this isn't really a turn 3 win. Turn 3 is a little ambitious. Pretty easy turn 4. If I just drew High Tide, I could potentially turn 3. Turn 2 Medallion, turn 3 High Tide, 4 mana, Spellseeker down to 2 mana, get an untap effect, maybe snap the spells. We'd be getting somewhere at the very least. Okay. Into Nettleguard, and this destroys an artifact or enchantment. Oh no. Oh wait, I don't want to upkeep it here. Oh, it's next turn. That's a bummer. I'm still just going to cast the Sapphire Medallion. If they spend their turn blowing up the medallion, that's not too bad. If for some reason they don't blow it up, it's very good for me. My top card is a Pact of Negation. It's a little bit worse now that I'm not going to have Sapphire Medallion out, presumably, because then I can't go Mental Note plus 3 drop. So I might just have to suffer and just draw the Pact of Negation, and then, but we'll see if they blow up Sapphire Medallion, which they definitely should. Okay, land number 3. Yeah, I thought they might just play Adeline. I thought that might be the case. All right, Upkeep, Mental Note. I mean, Adeline does hit for a lot. I actually could potentially lose this game, though. I have Snap, so let's see. Is it lethal next turn? 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, technically, if I do nothing, yes, it is lethal. Let's see what Mental Note draws. Sleight of Hand and Stifle. Okay. I could snap. I could just play Spellseeker. And if I play Spellseeker and they kill it, I die. So I think what I'm going to do is snap the Adeline, untap 2 lands. And then Spellseeker. And now I have Stifle. Oh, that's actually pretty sick. Stifle the Nettleguard if they go after a Sapphire Medallion. And then next turn, High Tide, 7 mana. I could cast Lier, have 3 mana left into Snap. All right, yeah, we got moves now. All right, so yeah, let's use Spellseeker. As always, High Tide is the pick. And then because I'm not going to die next turn and I'm going to have to go off the turn after, I think I just don't block with Spellseeker. I'll just take 6 down to 6, maybe 7 if they even play Adeline, because then next turn when I snap, after playing Lear, I can snap that Spellseeker. That is exactly what you want to do. All right, here's Adeline. Unsurprising addition to the board. I kind of do want them to Nidalguard now, or at least this turn, but they also have incentive to do that because they don't want to let me untap and start using medallions, so seems like there's a pretty good chance of that. All right, and Brightfield Glider. Okay. They're just not that interested in killing my Sapphire Medallion, as it turns out. That's okay. I could stifle the Adeline trigger, make fewer attackers. All right, here they come. 3, 5. Yep, I'll take it. Take it all. All right, draw. This should be, I would assume, pretty easy dub. We'll see. Maybe I miss. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it. It'd be nice if my opponent auto-passed, but don't think that's where we're at. So I have 6 mana left after this. Lier costs 4. That's 2 mana left after that. Snap costs 1, so that's 1 mana left. So I could ponder before doing any of that. Maybe I draw, I'm not even sure what. Extraplanar lens, something. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to cast kind of all these spells anyway, but I feel like pondering first. Might as well. Oh, wait, no, I don't want to ponder first. I want to cast High Tide again first. That's what I want to do. Okay, so I'm going to cast that, because then I'm going to... Yeah, so let's go Lear. Where'd you go? Where'd you go, buddy? All right, get in here. Tap this for 2 mana. High Tide. Snap the Spellseeker. Untap these 2 lands. Okay, so now I have 6 mana. Let's go Spellseeker. Get Hidden Strings, I guess. I think that's going to be the best one. Hidden Strings. Untap those 2 lands. I don't want to imprint it. Tap this, Hidden Strings. I just want to make sure I have a good amount of mana before I start doing things so I don't run out. All right, so now, because now I have 14 mana. All right, so let's start some card draw, shall we? Let's start with Ponder. Oh, they were done. They were done. All right, 2-0 start. All right, time for round 3. I'd like to play first, playing against Slimefoot and Squee. Oh, that I don't mind so much. And yeah, this hand looks pretty solid. Twiddle. I wish I had an alpha Twiddle. Well, I wish the alpha art was on Magic Online, I guess is what I have to say. I do have an alpha Twiddle. I have a bunch of them. I like old cards. I don't know if you knew that. I should probably do a video just showing off like some of the cool cards I have. I bet that would actually be decent. In any case, Slimefoot and Squee is, ignore the unparsable art, Jund 3/3 that makes a token. You sack a token to return this and another creature from the graveyard to play. It seems like the exact kind of deck that, unless it draws lots of discard, which, you know, does have some discard, I'm assuming. These decks almost always play like Duress and Thoughtseize. But unless it draws a lot of discard, and even if it does, like, I don't know, Lear is pretty good against discard, and they're not fast enough to beat me, I don't think, most of the time. But we'll see. A lot of powerful cards in Duel Commander. Oh, Frantic Search High Tide? Yeah, thanks. Don't mind if I do. This is probably a hand that could turn 3, but I don't even know if it needs to. I've become a pretty big fan of Duel Commander. Though, I don't know if anyone watching has kept up to speed with that recent like CDH tournament that had like an 11-hour game or something. I have trouble believing that people actually play CDH and enjoy it. I know they do because a lot of people seem to play it, but then I read about tournament experiences and it seems like this is like the worst parts about Magic plus the worst parts about board game. I honestly don't get it. It sounds like a horrendous experience to sit there and argue about 40 spells on the stack for 11 hours. Like, what is going on? Yeah, different strokes for different folks, I guess. I'll stick to 1v1. It's not that I think even Commander is bad. CDH is just its own cursed animal. Okay, let's just take a look here real quick. I probably shouldn't try to go off here, but let's say I cast High Tide. Then I have 4 mana. And then I could go Frantic Search and go up to 7 mana. Then I cast Lier, go to 2 mana. High Tide again from the graveyard, go to 1 mana. Cast Dream's Grip, go to 3 mana. Twiddle, go to 5 mana. And then 7, 9. And I get to Frantic Search. I think I can turn 3 here. I kind of want to try. I mean, if it works, I mean, I guess, no, they can't even have Snuff Out. They could have Pyrokinesis, I guess, to kill Lier. But they can't, there's not much else they can have instant speed with no swamps in play. Discard Island and Subtlety, I guess. Untap 3 lands. And cast Lier. And I actually think this is the right way to do it. I'm going to hold down Control. I'm going to cast Twiddle on this island. And I'm going to respond by casting High Tide. That way, even if Lier gets killed, I still get to have the max tideness. Though I don't think they have a way to kill it here. Tap this for 3 mana. Let's go Frantic Search again. Discard 2, untap these lands. So I have 9, 11. I mean, I have a lot of mana now. Let's go Twiddle on this island. Dream's Grip. I mean, this is turn 3. This is pretty good, to be honest. And I guess now I could start to cast some card draw now that so I'm at 15 mana. All right, well, that's probably enough to do something. Bottom, I think. To Brain Surge. Oh, there's an extraplanar lens. Put 2 cards on top. And I guess I haven't found tons of card draw here, so let's clear those off the top. Let's cast another Sleight of Hand. Let's pick up a Force of Will, I guess. Flashback Brain Surge. Well, I guess I could extraplanar lens first. Yeah, use the ability. I still have Force and Sync in the Stupor here, so I actually, even if I don't go off, I'll have drawn a lot of cards. In my islands, well, I guess I'm not going to go off. All right. And my islands tap for mana permanently, so let's just pass, I guess. All right, I didn't think with Preordained, Brain Surge, and Sleight of Hand I was going to miss on stuff to keep going, and 2 Frantic Searches. Okay. Well, waiting another turn would have worked out better. And okay, so now they're sacking a creature, so now I can go suspend on the insect token. And that way, oh no. What do they got? Is this Dryad Arbor? Okay, so this is actually going to be fine because that resolves, and then I have a Lier in play, so I can still cast this on the Dryad Arbor. They just chose to sack a land against my card in the graveyard, so that's kind of nice. Well, if I draw another way to draw cards, then I get to do some things. I can also force this play and then kill Grist with my Lier. Oh no, I can't force the play. Sorry, so Lier's in play. Spells can't be countered. I got to remember that. It's a funny little interaction. Just flashing back counter spells would be too miserable, of course. I mean, Sink into Stupor still does some work. And it looks like I can still kill Grist here. Right. Well, Grist. The other thing is Lier dying isn't even like the end of the world here, because I can just recast it at some point. High Tide being gone is pretty annoying, but I have extraplanar lens, so that part is fine. I'm going to get to do some survivaling here. Discard Hogak Nice. And I can double sink into Stupor. Let's see what they get with Survival. There's a chance I'd want to bounce Survival. Like if they're doing some Vengevine type stuff or getting a rule, Canker Bloom. Okay. Dryad Arbor is going to come back next turn. Well, in this case, waiting another turn, I don't know that it would have done that much because I did get to see a lot of cards. So I have Canker Bloom and Unknowns in hand. I guess I'm going to sink into Stupor the Canker Bloom. I don't love it, but I don't think I have a better play here. If the lens goes, it's actually going to be really hard to win this game because I don't have any way to generate mana, so I don't think it will be easy to do so. I mean, I guess I can try to like get somewhere with Turnabout and lots of islands in play, but what, the mana floating still, really? Disrespectful. All right. If I draw a card draw spell here, island? All right. Yeah, I guess that'll do it, huh? Yeah, I had a few misses on the way. Obviously, I should have waited another turn because can they cast this? They might not even be able to cast this because it's a land. You can't cast it. Wow, suspending Dryad Arbor is actually like some pretty good beats. Had I waited another turn, I would have seen one more card, but that could translate into many more cards, and I would have a lot more mana. But that doesn't actually help that I just cast a bunch of card draw and ended up with a Force of Will and 7 islands or whatever. So that can happen. Yeah, you got a Canker Bloom. Casting Stern Scolding is not going to do a whole lot. Okay, blow up extra planar lens, I imagine. Okay, yeah, lens is gone. I mean, Lear's still a powerful card, but now that they have survival, I can't imagine I've got a good shot here. Another counter. Well, I guess if my Lear dies, I can start doing something. I mean, they're at 10. I guess we'll see. We'll see. I wish I had that subtlety now. That would have actually worked out pretty nicely. I could have realistically won with combat damage. If they don't have a creature in hand, maybe this goes well. They tapped a green source with survival out. I don't really know what's up with that. Gutterino, all right. What you picking up here? Counterspell is definitely fine. In general, it's not so good here. Keen-Eyed Curator. Okay, so that's going to eat my graveyard. That doesn't do that much against Lear either. Honestly, I fizzled and I'm not doing anything, but what they're doing is like less impressive. I have played against the Slimefoot deck a bunch. It is, I think, not very good. And I mean, they're going to make that thing. But if I draw a card draw spell, I just cast it, then cast it again. And I can also attack them with Lear here. What am I hoping to draw? I mean, honestly, just like something like Brainstorm would be awesome. I guess Brainstorm specifically wouldn't be as good as like Ponder, but still, something along those lines would be really, really nice. Okay, I have some mana here. Is this like a Springheart Nantuko or something? Oh, no, they're just eating my Stern Scolding, which is fine because with a Liera, that doesn't do anything either. Eat Subtlety, eat Extra Planar Lens, like it's fine either way there. I guess they can cast Hogak. That is true. Hogak is strong. All right. I still think if I draw Ponder here, we could make some moves, including some bounce spells. Let's see. All right, another island. This is really impressive stuff here. I'm going to take a lot of damage, so that was probably the last turn I had to do something good. I mean, that's not true. If I draw a cantrip, I find like a cryptic command, like there's some ways to string things together. I also could block with Lier to turn on the counters. I wonder if that's any good. I kind of want Lier in play, I think. I think I'm just going to take it. They can get to 4 types with Curator off of a lens and a land. And maybe they're not playing anything else this turn, though. We'll have to see. Okay. Go to 5. Well, interesting to see this deck fizzle. Because that is kind of what's happening here. Survival, discard Oliphant. Get another creature, and let's see, what do they get? Oh, Cursed Marauder. All right. Leader down. Put in the command zone. And draw for my turn. A little late impulse on the last turn. I mean, I guess if I found Cryptic. I did not. I found Mental Note. All right, it's Mental Note. Into another land. All right, fair enough. So down a game here, but I'll probably wait a little longer before going off next time, though. The way that my top cards were, it seems like I would have fizzled either way. Okay, well, I would like to play first. Moment of Truth. Yeah, all right. This looks pretty good. Just all cantrips. Cantrip, cantrip, cantrip. The Hidden Strings is the only non-cantrip card, and that will be useful once the tide rises. And Mystic Sanctuary, I don't need to play. I can play it later. Like, presumably it's going to be good to play it later, so certainly don't want to waste time on it now. And I could use Peek, but I don't really have too many decisions to make in the first few turns, so maybe Sleight of Hand is better. Well, no, actually, I think I'm going to use Peek, and here's why. Later, I might have more specific cards I'm looking for with Sleight of Hand. Like, for example, if I cast Sleight of Hand and I saw an island and a decent spell, there'd be some pressure to take the island. But if I peek and just see what my next couple draws are before casting Sleight of Hand, then I think that's better. Because peek, I have no choices to make. Peek just gives me whatever my top card is. Okay, turn 1 Mana Dork, most likely. Oh, turn 1 Thoughtseize. Okay. If they want to take peek and like make my turn less efficient, that's fine. The problem is if I peek into a good card, then them taking peek certainly doesn't work out great for me. This hand's pretty good against Thoughtseize. It doesn't have any of its great stuff in yet. It's just, again, a bunch of cantrips. I guess they could maybe take Hidden Strings because that's the only non-cantrip in hand, but it's still probably fine to take Moment of Truth. I don't know. Yeah, they did in fact take the Moment of Truth. All right, well, let's see what they got. Their hand is Grief, Unearth, Cankerbloom, and Lands. Okay. That's not too bad. Let's Sleight of Hand here. And after Sleight of Hand, oh, definitely want Cryptic. I guess I'll just play Delta. At this point, I don't have any other special lands to get. I could maybe wait on Delta in case I drew Brainstorm or Brain Surge later, but it feels like playing Delta here is fine. All right, Tarn. Play a Cankerbloom here. Normally, Cankerbloom wasn't even that big of a deal. Oh, they're Grief pitching Unearth, sure. Yeah, and they take my Cryptic, that's fine. It is unfortunate because now they know about Spell Pierce, but Spell Pierce wasn't lining up to be particularly great here either. And, oh, they took Spell Pierce. So they must have drawn an animate spell or like a survival or something. Guess I don't love that. Or a hymn. Oh, Smuggler's Copter. Oh, and I could have pierced it. Yeah, that is a bit unfortunate. All right. Sack this. Get an island here. Draw. I actually think Spell Snare is still probably going to be pretty good here because they're presumably going to play Canker Bloom to try to crew that copter. And then next turn I can go Mystic Sanctuary, put Moment of Truth back on top and have up Cryptic. You even have the Cryptic Bounce Sanctuary loops, though I don't think I'm that likely to do that. So yeah, their turn here probably is Canker Bloom Raucous Theater, but Spell Snare, I'm going to put a stop to that. That was a good draw. Raucous Theater in the Canker Bloom out. I think I'll just put Moment of Truth back on top. I don't know. It seems like a better card to draw than a random card. Unless I just draw an island, in which case I'll just play island. I don't need to do that yet. So it's passed. And now they know I have Cryptic in hand. Ooh, not good for them. Like they can play Slimefoot and Squee this turn. Oh, they could have played it last turn. That would have been so much better for them. Why didn't they play Slimefoot and Squee last turn? They could have just played the Peatland and done that. Wouldn't that have been so much better? Huh. All right. Because then they're close to maybe getting back Grief or something like that. Oh, I guess maybe they wanted to loot. No, they can't loot it in I don't know. Let's counter draw. Counter target spell and draw a card. Because now I can put Cryptic back with the Mystic Sanctuary. And that, I think, is going to be much more appealing. Oh, Intuition? Yeah, Intuition's also pretty nice. Oh, into Skull Clamp. Okay. Let's see what I draw here. I have one thing in hand. I kind of want to just go Island Lier. They only have one card in hand. It's pretty hard for them to kill it and put a creature into play. If they have like a Snuff Out or a free way to kill it, it's going to be pretty annoying. But this gives them one turn, and then once I Intuition, it's just going to be over after that. So we'll see. Yawgmoth, that is not going to kill Lier. They can crew Copter. They can hit, and they can, if they have a land, they can then clamp the Copter and sack it to Yawgmoth, so they can draw a bunch of cards, but they'd have to draw a free spell. And they don't seem to have a land. I guess they can loot into a land, play a land, equip Copter, sack it to Skull Clamp, and hope to draw either Pyrokinesis or Fury plus a red card, or a Snuff Out. And I think that's about it. So, because then on my turn, I get to go Intuition for High Tide, Frantic Search. I'm not sure what else. Certainly those two. All right, no plays. Let's just draw then. That's not what I want to cast. Target them. Intuition's pretty busted in this deck, not going to lie. Let's see, I definitely want High Tide. And I'm pretty sure I want Frantic Search. I could get Candelabra as well, or Turnabout. Turnabout's even better. And I have enough card draw. I have Moment of Truth, Peak, Sleight of Hand. Oh, and I have Intuition. Yeah, that should be enough. Okay, so let's just get the mana generators. Yeah, Frantic Search, High Tide, and Turnabout. Okay, they're going to give me probably Turnabout. They're not going to give me High Tide, is my assumption. Okay, I had to restart Magic Online. I was lagging a bit. And they gave me High Tide. Okay. That doesn't really seem like what you want to do, but all right. So let's go. Hold on. Okay. High Tide. Mystic Sanctuary. Put High Tide back on top. Okay, this time they accepted the loss. Yeah, because I was going to put High Tide on top, cast Peak, pick up High Tide, cast Hidden Strings, cast Turnabout, cast Frantic Search, cast Intuition. Yeah, win easily. All right, let's go to game 3 here. I think I can get this one. All right, game 3 time. Yeah, I'll keep this. On the draw, this hand definitely could could run into some issues, but as we saw last game, they have a bunch of discards, so mulling isn't that appealing, and well, we'll see. If they start with a mana dork and I don't draw any play here, then could be a little unhappy. Oh, Preordain's kind of nice. All right. I would keep one land, but not two. I should probably keep Subtlety, bottom Dream's Grip, and then Subtlety, Slimefoot this turn. Who do I pitch? Well, one of the 3-drops, that's for sure. They're all pretty good, though. And I want to keep Repeal because I'm going to repeal the Hierarch. I'm leaning towards pitching Solve the Equation. Oh, I'm getting griefed. Okay. I'm not forcing Thoughtseize, as it were. They can grief my Subtlety, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, if they go turn 1 Dork, turn 2 Grief into Squee, that's a pretty strong start. I assume I'm going to find a land between my draw steps and Repeal, but obviously that's not a guarantee either. Yeah, they took Subtlety. And here comes Slimefoot and Squee. Well, the good news about Slimefoot and Squee is it can't bring grief back until this thing dies. So they need a way to kill that. Let's see what I draw. That was not a great draw. And I can repeal the Saproling. That might be better because it... No, but then if they kill this... So if they have a cheap way to sack this, the Saproling is good to have in play. But bouncing the Noble seems like it's going to be just still better. Ooh, Lorien Revealed instead of a land is one of the few times when it's going to be pretty bad for me. Because if I don't draw an untapped land here, actually I'm going to lose this game. I mean, not necessarily, but there's a pretty good chance. Would they pitch this anyway? Oh, Troll of Khazad-dûm, sure. Oh yeah, I definitely want to bounce Noble. I forgot this when it attacks, it also makes a Saproling. So it's not like I was keeping them off Saprolings. All right. Oh, mana, that's a different mana dork, so presumably they're just going to play both. Okay, any lands? Any lands? Oh. Skull Clamp. Uh-oh. This is starting to be a problem. They're going to clamp a Saproling. Okay, well, I didn't draw land. Let's peek. Hand is Flare of Malice. Good to know. And a Minsk and Boo. After all this, I'm going to lose badly here. Kind of a shame, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes. I don't think I'm going to have enough time here because I can't go off next turn. Missing my 3rd land drop and not being able to cast a 3-mana spell was pretty devastating. Because even just Minsk and Boo attack you is already just a 2-turn clock. There's not much I can draw. I guess Archmage's Charm actually can steal the hamster, so... Alright. Pride goes before the fall, and I'm like, all right, this matchup's easy. I'm going to try to go off turn 3 in game 1, and then I just fizzled, and now I'm just going to get beaten badly this game with turn 1 Dork, turn 2 Grief You, then Slimefoot, turn 3... Clamp into turn 4 Minsk. I mean, it's a good start for sure. All right, well, you know, I guess Archmage's Charm is something here. The thing is, if I don't draw land, I also... Missing a land drop this turn is also really bad for me. Do not have time for all this stock up nonsense. All right. Clamp. Okay. So even if I draw a High Tide, I'm just so far away from doing anything. Well, let's see. Let's find out, I guess. They know about Archmage's Charm. The grief for my Subtlety was a nice touch. That's tough. Yeah, I don't think I die here. Let's see. Because the Sapling's not attacking. So if I steal Boo, I can block Slimefoot. If they have a removal spell for Minsk and Boo, then I will die. But what can I do about that? Because then they hit me for 5 and then shoot me with Minsc and Boo for another 3. But this is my out here. All right, I took the Minsc and Boo. Now they don't have a great attack, presumably. No. Okay. See, if I drawn land last turn, I kind of feel like I could have mounted a comeback. Oh, does that just kill me? I'm at 7? If they throw Minsc and Boo at 4, it's pretty close. I go to 1 right now. Oh, that's enough to kill me now. Fair enough. I mean, I wasn't winning anyway. Let's just let them do it. Since they got a plan here, I assume. Okay. Yep. All right. All right. Well, unfortunate loss. Let's see if I get the last one. All right. I would like to play first. Play against Elminster. It's the blue-white Planeswalker. So 5 mana, 5 loyalty, +2, draw a card and scry 2, and then the scrying reduces your spell's cost by that much. -3, exile the top card, make a bunch of 1/1 flyers, equal that card's mana value. Funny. I think I should mulligan this hand. It's kind of a shame because Counterspell and Misdirection are both pretty good against them. So Subtlety. But it's a 1-land with a bad cantrip. This deck does so badly when it misses land drops. All right, yeah, this looks better to me. I kind of want to just put Subtlety back. I think Pack, the turn I go off, is going to be pretty good. Oh, they mulled to 5. Huh. All right, well, let's just go Ponder. Oh, I like all of these cards. I'm just going to play turn 2 Sapphire Medallion. I will miss a land draw up here, but I think that's okay because I can always Spell Seeker later. I really hope they don't have Spell Snare or Spell Pierce. Okay, good, because that Sapphire Medallion was a big part of my plan for, casting spells. I think I am going to lead with Peak, though, because if I draw a land, I can play Spell Seeker. What you got going here? Otawara did not draw land. All right. Farewell, Mystic Confluence, Reprieve. Oof, they are far from doing anything. Okay. There we go. If they want to reprieve my Spellseeker, they can. I'm going to save my Spell Pierce for Mystic Confluence, I think, or Elminster. What am I getting with this Spellseeker? I actually don't think it's High Tide because I can just Dizzy Spell Transmute for High Tide. Oh, did they draw a Lose Focus? I actually will pierce that, I think. I would like to... I can figure out an answer to Mystic Confluence, like Cryptic Command, for example. I think given that I don't have lands, Spell Seekering into a card draw spell of some kind is going to be kind of nice. I think I just get Merchant Scroll, actually, which is kind of funny. But Merchant Scroll can set up Intuition. We're just tutoring for tutors. And the reason that's good is because with Lier in play, all the tutors that fill your graveyard with tutors are obviously good. Excuse the thumping. We got Children Home here. Okay. Meticulous Archive, sure. I kept a card on top, which might be a land. They kind of do need to keep lands. Farewell is also an annoying card, but they're pretty far. Oh, they did not draw a land, apparently, because you wouldn't play Otawara unless you did. Oh. Can I plot this? Oh, it cost the full amount. Okay. I was just curious. Merchant Scroll. Where is Intuition? Intuition. Send. Pass the turn. Now on their upkeep, I'm going to cast Intuition. This way they can reprieve it, but they can't confluence it. So and it just taps them out of Mystic Confluence if they do fire off the reprieve, which, I mean, Especially if they don't have a land in hand, apparently. They certainly would want to. Though they could have Elminstered. Okay, reprieve is gone. I drew an island. Very nice. I kind of want to just pass now. Well, hold on. We have Mystic Confluence up. I could Intuition. They can get an Elminster down, but I guess if they draw a land, they could now get Farewell down. I think I'm just going to pass. It's kind of an interesting spot. I think if they just pass with Mystic Confluence mana up, I'm just not going to do anything. I have a Sapphire Medallion, and they're the ones spending all their mana doing nothing. Let's cast Opt. Wash away. I'm just going to bottom it because drawing a land would be really good, though. Unsubstantiate is actually not too bad. Oh, they didn't go for anything. I love it. I'm missing land drops, but so are they. And now I can go Intuition. Sapphire Medallion in counter battles is really nice. Oh, they're just in for that. Okay. Let's get... High Tide, Frantic Search, and maybe a card draw spell of some kind. Frantic Search, High Tide. I could get Remand. I have Ponder, Peak, Opt. I have a lot of cantrips in my graveyard, so that's not that good. I could get Lorien Revealed. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, let's do that. Happy with any of these, I would say. And getting Lorien Revealed in my graveyard means it's basically impossible to fizzle once I have enough mana. So at this point, I really don't want them to Farewell because they kill Spellseeker, Medallion, and my graveyard. It's pretty hard for them to resolve Farewell. They have 4 non-lands in hand, so there is that. Let's draw. Island was a pretty nice draw. Let's just pass here. The one downside of not spending mana is that I could have transmuted or plotted Lock and Load, but I think having Cryptic plus Unsubstantiate up is kind of nice. And presumably they're going to do something at some point here. No, they're just chilling. I could bounce their Meticulous Archive and draw a card. Could just take my turn. Bounce. I feel like I have a pretty good shot at winning if I do this. So let's just do this. Return target opponent's on hand, draw a card. It also puts them like pretty far away from casting Farewell if this resolves. Okay, they're fine with that too. Curate. I mean, at some point they're probably going to want to play something. Surveil 2. We'll keep one of the lands. Now they have to discard to hand size. Beza the Bounding Spring. Yeah, I agree with that. Oh, Stifle. Stifle's going to be nice here. In that case, let's transmute this for High Tide. Given that I still have Unsubstantiate, I mean, I could have actually gone for something here. Oh, is this Tail's End? Huh. I kind of do want High Tide, but I don't really have... I could unsubstantiate the Tail's End and then stifle the Marsh Flats. I actually think that's going to be good. All right. Because they're too much mana away from casting much else here. Maybe this is a little bit risky, but feels like it'll work out pretty well. I mean, drawing the Stifle was obviously pretty key here. Because the next turn, I don't need the counter to go off when I have Frantic Search. All right, Stifle your Marsh Flats. It's so brutal for them. Stifling Marsh Flats when they're missing land drops. And let's put High Tide into my hand. Where did High Tide go? Oh. I've just this whole time been like trying to put High Tide into my hand when it's in my graveyard already because of Lier. Let's just get Candelabra. Yeah, Intuition did earlier. That's funny. I've been spending a lot of time thinking about how to do that, and then it's just so. Yeah, let's get the Candlestick and just play it, I think. Okay. They have Tails End in hand. Force of Will, interesting. Let's see, if I cast Lier, the Tails End it. I packed it. So cast Lier, Tails End, packed it. They cast another counter. I force it, pitching Frantic Search or Lock and Load. And then cast High Tide. Tap this for 2 mana. Candelabra, untap 2 lands. And let's say I had to pitch Lock and Load then. I think I'm just going to plot this past the turn and just hope to draw a blue card next turn or play a land. I mean, so it's pretty hard for me not to draw a blue card or a land. One of those two is almost assuredly getting in there. All right, they have Meticulous Archive in hand, and they played Island instead to keep 2 counters up, perhaps. But that means this turn they're probably going to play the Meticulous Archive. So I have the same. They presumably have the same amount of counters up this turn as they did last turn. And then I draw. Blue card would be better than Island, I think. Yeah. So now let's go. Lier, Disciple of the Drowned. Spells can't be countered with this thing in play, but presumably they're not going to let it get to that point. That is kind of interesting. Spells can't be countered, so this isn't play, then they like bounce it to make me waste a bunch of mana or something, I guess. Okay, packed your Tails End. If they have another 2 mana counter and a Force of Will, then things get a little bit more annoying. Though at some point I could still just cast Lier. I guess they would get to then Farewell or something like that. I thought for sure they had 2 things because they played an untapped 4th land. So it seems pretty likely that's the case. Okay, now there's Subtlety. Force the Subtlety, pitching Hard Evidence. What did they pitch? They pitched Stock Up. So their hand is Farewell, Mystic Confluence. 2 things. Okay, so it seems like things are doing okay here. Let's cast High Tide. It does get them up to 3 mana, just because High Tide is symmetrical, funnily enough. When the tide is high, it's high everywhere. And yeah, this is pretty interesting. I guess if because they pitch Stock Up, so I guess if they have a bounce spell. All right, well, I kind of assume they don't at this point, so let's go 2 mana. Yeah, I guess I'll Frantic Search. I'm just milling myself for 2 here, but with Lier in play, all my good cards are spells anyway, so that doesn't really matter too much. Untap 3 lands. Twiddle. Oh, actually, twiddling a land there is terrible. I have a Candelabra in play. I noticed it, like many of my mistakes, a second too late. So far I've cast Frantic Search, High Tide, Packed, Force. Let's see. Peak. Their hand is a Fateful Absence. They can't cast. Okay, they can't cast any more spells. Oh, I haven't played a land yet. Nice. So I have a lot of mana. This should be an easy win now. He's said this before, but this time it's, true. Intuition. Dream's Grip. Turnabout. And Hidden Strings. I have another, yeah, I have Merchant Scroll. So I have another tutor, at the very least, to tutor for Brain Freeze, if such a thing is necessary, which it shouldn't be. Despite some misadventures, we've gotten to a place where we can combo off successfully. No, I don't have enough mana to untap all my lands. This UI is, hold on. Let's do it the wrong way. All right. There we go. Untap target permanent. Now I can do all 7. Okay. And this gives me enough mana to pretty much do everything I need, I assume. 18 mana, turnabout myself, yeah. Land, untap, Merchant Scroll, Brain Freeze. Brain Freeze you for 39 cards. Flashback Brain Freeze. I guess I should cast one more spell. Or no, this is 42 cards, so the second one just is lethal. Oust, Mana Tithe, Shorikai, Spell Snare. What's a Cactus Preserve? Desert. Sure, that does some weird stuff. Harbinger of the of the Seas, make my lands into islands. It does turn off Mystic Sanctuaries here, technically. Okay. And you just Brain Freeze again. And that should do it. So they now just let me go through it. I'm not really going to time out, so I'm not too worried. Do they have any? None of the cards in their hand stop them from drawing cards. Well, I mean, they have the counters I would expect, but they don't actually have that many counters. They have a lot of removal. That's one thing that's kind of nice. Teferi is annoying, but most of the, like all the removal spells are really bad against this deck. I guess they can kill Lier, but, you know. Pass the turn. And let them face their doom. Okay. Definitely could have done that a little better. The whole sequence of transmuting Dizzy spell was a little bit unnecessary, but what do we got here? I kind of like Rewind. Stifle? Stern Scolding is not great. There's only a couple of cards it counters, but I think the rest of this hand is okay. Sleight of hand to find more lands. Stifle's kind of nice. I think I'll just lead on Island Go. Because if they play a fetch, then yes. Oh, tapped? Huh. Interesting. Playing Soporific Springs on turn 1. I'll still wait on sleight of hand. It also lets me keep up Stern Scolding for what that's worth. Playing this on turn 1 usually means a pretty land light hand, is my guess. Okay, draw. Sleight of hand here. Brain Surge and Force of Will. Ooh. You know what? I think I got to take Force of Will. It's going to be, there's just some parts where this is just such a good card. Brain Surge also really nice. I kind of wish I just didn't cast Sleight of Hand, but I think Force is the pick. Okay, they played Otawara. So yeah, they're playing all these lands that you wouldn't really play unless you had to. Unfortunately for me, I'm getting low on lands myself. The Stern Scolding can be discarded if I need to. Would rather just draw a land. Yeah, nice. Pass. I'll stifle that Prismatic Beast if it gets cracked. Oh yeah. Don't think I won't. They can counter it, and then I can unsubstantiate the stifle back and counter the Prismatic Beast again if I want to. Ponder, yeah, they're low on lands. If I don't draw anything, I can plot the Lock and Load. I don't really need to. When this deck goes off, like the turn where it casts Lock and Load, spending 3 mana on Lock and Load isn't too big of a cost. And keeping up Rewind could be nice, but I guess we'll see. Okay, Found a marsh flats. Fortunately, no stifle this time. I do have Tails End in my deck. Okay. I think I just pass here. I'm going to miss a land drop, but I get to keep up Rewind. And if I can land Rewind into Impulse, that would be pretty nice. They're passing. All right. I'm going to Impulse end of turn. Probably just for a land. Oh. That's tough because High Tide is my best card, I guess. Yeah, I'll take the High Tide. I think that's like one of the only spells in the deck I wouldn't take the land, but this actually worked out kind of nicely because once we're in a control mirror and they're missing, well, control versus combo, I guess, and they're missing land drops, it gets pretty nice. The Wandering Emperor. The Wandering Emporium. I could rewind it. Kind of like just rewinding it because that actually does put a decent clock on me. It is good for them because now they don't have to discard if they miss a land drop. Though obviously they might just hit a land. Oh, they did not. All right. Yeah. Now I think I'm going to plot Lock and Load because I don't have anything to spend my mana on besides Unsubstantiate, and I'm not too worried about not having that one up because I can still cast Suspend or Stern Scolding. I mean, it could definitely run into an issue here. We'll see what they do. Off. Okay. I'm definitely putting lands versus spells here. They pretty much have to take the lands. Nice is both those lands enter the battlefield tapped, so there's always a chance he puts them down a mana. The one thing I am missing here, and part of the reason it was unfortunate to take the Brain Surge is I don't have a lot of cards, although the Lock and Load. The Lock and Load actually goes pretty hard. Oh, they took the spells? Okay. Did they draw land this turn? Because if not, they're just going to discard all those spells. Are they going to fire off a Sunset Revelry? Doesn't even make any creatures? Does it do anything? I guess they can't. That's probably not the card they're casting. Teferi. I'll force that pitching, I think, Suspend. Did they think they were going to resolve Teferi because they had Mental Misstep? I guess so. I mean, Mental Misstep is good, but they just had to discard a bunch of cards here. Let's see. They discarded Sunset Revelry and Unexpectedly Absent. I can go High Tide. They Mental Misstep it. Unsubstantiated. Yeah, this looks fine. Look, this isn't the most exciting play in the world because I don't think I'm necessarily going to get to go off here. I can Lock and Load here. I'm basically going to, we cast some spells, then I cast Lock and Load. It's going to be my plan. I mean, Mental Misstep, Subtlety are both good for sure. Subtlety against Lear. Oh, they just let High Tide resolve. Okay. Tap my island for 2 mana here. Hidden Strings, those two. I wish I could Stern Scolding Subtlety. That would be sick. And so I have 10 mana. I guess I'll cast Lier. It's kind of odd. Not misstepping is tough. Okay. Sink into Stupor the Subtlety. They can still pitch cast Subtlety. But I'm just going to cast Lock and Load to draw a bunch of cards. Here's what I'm going to do. Pitching No More Lies. All right. Unsubstantiate the Subtlety. Let's Still can't mental misstep any of these things. I guess that their plan was to have it kind of go like this, where they fight over Lear, so I kind of waste the high tide. But I'm actually okay with all that. I don't. Did I play a land? No, I did not play a land yet. Okay, nice. Because that means I can go lock and load. Can't be countered. I'm going to draw a bunch of cards. I didn't draw a land. All right, fair enough. Land would have actually let me probably go off, because I go land, hidden strings, untap 2 land. Then I cast High Tide, and then maybe I don't go off, but I certainly get to do some things. Oust Lear, all right. I mean, as long as they don't exile my graveyard, that was totally fine. They have mental misstep in hand. They burn through a bunch of cards. I do have to note that this is my second from the top, so I think I'm just going to pass, and I can opt into the Lear, and then I can Mystic Sanctuary back High Tide, perhaps. They're just kind of not doing anything, so it feels like... Ooh. Put this on top. Curate. Oh, it put Leader back in my command zone, right, without asking. That's true. Top, and this actually still works just fine. Then Brainstorm. Wow, we really strung together some good cantrips in a turn here. Oh, I drew Mental Misstep too? Okay, let's put back Stern Scolding. And honestly, I could just put back Spellseeker. Crack Misty Rainforest. Get Mystic Sanctuary. Get back High Tide. They could Demolition Field me. They did not. They have 5 cards in hand. They have all their mana up. So if I cast that, I have 10 mana. I kind of feel like I don't really need to go too hard here. Like, they're missing land drops and I'm casting a bunch of card draw spells. I don't need to go for a combo when they have all their mana untapped. It's just really not necessary. What is this? And do I want to counter it back? Perhaps. I don't even know what I'm getting with Merchant Scroll, to be honest. I'm probably getting some way to draw cards. Maybe I'll just get Intuition. But my graveyard's so stacked that I kind of don't need to make it even better. I should just get... Are they like Logic Knotting me here? That's kind of what it looks like. I may just want to get a card draw spell. So the question now is, do I counter their counter? It was indeed Logic Knot. I kind of... Yeah, I guess that's probably fine. I have a Subtlety and Wash Away and Misdirection. I mean, I have 4 counters-ish in hand. I guess this can counter a big creature or planeswalker. This can counter their commander. This can counter a targeted spell. So the only thing that they could resolve is, like, they could resolve Farewell here. And that would be pretty annoying. But I have High Tide in hand. Right? And there's nothing there that I can't win without. Okay. Merchant Scroll goes off, and I'm going to pick up Cryptic Command? No, Brain Surge? Brain Surge might be the jam. Archmage's Charm is kind of interesting too. Oh, or Memory Deluge. Let's just take Memory Deluge here. That's great. If we're just going to be chilling here, that's the card I want. Basically, the onus is on them to do something, and if they tap out, I can win pretty easily. If they don't tap out, I'm just going to sit here casting Memory Deluges and cantrips. So this is partly. Are they going to Demolition Field me? All right. This is partially why I wanted to counter the Wandering Emperor. Is like they just have no pressure whatsoever right now. So I feel like cards like Memory Deluge exploit that pretty nicely. So, pay the life on Hallowed Fountain. That makes sense. It's like I wouldn't even mind drawing a land here. Yeah, perfect. because now I just get to pass with all my mana up. If I hadn't drawn a land, I wasn't probably main phasing the Deluge, but much better to have just drawn a land. Now they're drawing a land. All right. Memory Deluge. Candelabra and Moment of Truth and Islands. Let's take Candelabra and Moment of Truth. Cast Moment of Truth. Well, that worked out well enough, I guess. Draw my land. Play a land. Pass the turn. And I'm going to flash back the Deluge here. We have 5 cards in hand. All right. Memory Deluge, look at 7. Pact of Negation is nice. So let's go take Pact of Negation. And I could take Force Spike. I could take Unwind. How likely is Force Spike to work? I guess I should just take Unwind. I'm going to have a lot of mana here. Draw, Island. I have 9 cards, so I have to start discarding. So if I High Tide, yeah, let's do some things. Let's cast High Tide. Let's kick things off this way. If they don't Mental Misstep here, I think it's kind of crazy, but okay. I will Mental Misstep. I mean, these 4 cards counter 4 counter spells, and they have 4 cards in hand, so I feel like I should probably get this. I like this deck. Playing this kind of mirror is like what I live for. Like, I really do enjoy it. It's, you know, it's a lot of fun trying to figure out ways around their counters and try to be as efficient as possible. Okay. Stack is cleared, and what do we got now? They should tap their non-islands first. Once High Tide resolves, they get more mana. Another reason, I guess, Force Spike is not ideal. So maybe they'll tap out, and Force Spike would have been great. This is a lot of mana. They're gonna try to win a counter war with Cryptic Command. I don't think that's gonna do it. All right. So far, I've cast 2 0 mana counters, so that works for me. You have 3 cards left. Any High Tides? I don't want to use Unwind until after High Tide resolves, if it does. What is this that has additional costs? I guess we'll see. Oh, Snapcaster Mage. Okay. I could Subtlety it, but this is actually going to work out nicely because I can just cast Wash Away for a 1 mana counter. Yeah, because they're going to get Mental Misstep. Subtlety and Misdirection are kind of nice post-Lier because they both stop spells without explicitly countering them, so Liers can't be countered. Text doesn't apply. So far, I've spent 1 mana to cast 3 counters, and they spent 6 mana to cast 3 counters. All right. All right. They had enough. All right. That'll do it for today, or for 100 rounds. But let's take a look at this deck. This deck's a nice one. The main cards I haven't liked. I still think Long-Term Plans is not where you want to be. Mana Short's cool. This is an oldie from Alpha. 2 and a blue, tap all their lands and suck all the mana out of their pool. Exhaustion's kind of a nice as like a little mini Time Walk. I do like having a Giga Drowse as well. Really the only card that I didn't like, unsurprisingly, is Long-Term Plans. It's kind of a hard card to use, but tons of cantrips. Just the High Tide, the Lens as the backup High Tide, Candelabra, Sapphire Medallion, Lier, and then just go nuts. It's been a blast. So this deck's fun. Definitely seems pretty good. That loss to Slimefoot and Squeeze seemed potentially avoidable, but who's to say? And let me know if you're enjoying this Duel Commander content. Hard Evidence. That's a card you could also potentially cut if there's something you wanted. I'll be back tomorrow with some cube drafts because I've done a little non-cube recently, but cubing back tomorrow. So I will see you then for some cubes. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps out the channel and you won't miss a single draft.